KUGAN, CASSIUS, IFL TV, MTK Global. You're a bit close there, kid. I'm joined by Dominic Ingle. We just had the weigh-in for Saunders-Lemieux. We saw a raging Dominic Ingle today during the weigh-in. Is that fair to say?
Not really. I mean, look, I've been to hundreds of weigh-ins. I've seen all the tricks in the book. David Lemieux stepped on those scales, and the scale said 160.2, which is 0.2 of a stone. Oh, sorry, 0.2 of a pound. So it flickered between 160 and 160.2. And while he was clapping and saying he'd make the weight, he was still flickering, and then he stepped off. And I've seen fighters step off the scales and drink straight away. You understand? A bottle of water and then straight away, then you can't re-weigh him. And I wanted to see him get back on the scales till the scale stopped on 160. And I don't care whether it's a commissioner saying, no, we're happy with that weight. It's not a case whether the commissioner's happy with the weight. It's a case of whether the other team's representative can see that weight as well. And there's me and Frank Warren on that stage, and the security were holding us both back. So I had to look through somebody's legs to see that weight, while everybody was crowding around David Lemieux. So, you know, I wanted him back on those scales until I was happy with that weight. In England, that's how it works. You know, that's why we have representatives on the stage watching the weigh-in. Because I've been in countries where the officials aren't kosher and they fiddle around with the weights, and you know, they're putting towels up and saying it's this weight and it's that weight. We're in Canada, we've given them the home advantage. We're not letting them anybody pull any strokes. We want a fair fight. So, you know, if you just sit back and you know, let it all happen. If something happens in the fight and doesn't go your way, it's too late afterwards. Let's get it all sorted out before. So you've got to make a point, and I'm not going to get, you know, railroaded to one side. You know, without seeing what's going off.
But he did get back on the scales.
He got back on.
So you were happy with the situation after that?
Yeah, I was glad when he got back on, yeah.
Okay. What did you think of the shape of him?
Listen, you know, for years and years, you can look at people getting on scales and think they're in good shape, they're in bad shape. You know, it is a good indicator if they look in good shape and they've got low body fat and they look tight, that, you know, they've trained well. And I think it's well documented that David Lemieux doesn't make weight good. But, you know, some fighters go through the career never making weight good, but they always fight well. But the difference is when you start getting around about 28, 29, and you start making weight wrong, it catches up with you. You know, it catches up with you later in the fight. 6 or 7 rounds, your legs start getting tired, you start getting fatigued. So, you know, apparently this morning he was in the gym for 2 or 3 hours, you know, still trying to get his weight off. Yesterday, when I saw him at the press conference, he didn't look like a mount who was anywhere near the weight. And this morning, when I've seen him, he looked like a drowned rat. So, you know, that's the difference. And whether that's a telling thing in the fight, we're not relying on that. You know, we're looking for the best David Lemieux to turn up on Saturday night, the most well prepared. But we'll see how the fight pans out. You know, if he's got the stamina for 12 rounds, then all well and good. He's done the weight right for him. You know, maybe that's just the way he always does it.
Talking's done now, so Billy Joe Saunders has a job to do tomorrow night, and you're going to want him to do it well.
Yeah, look, it's a great venue. It's going to be a good crowd. The ring looks okay. Billy's prepared well. He's fit. He knows the dangers of David Lemieux, the straight right, the left hook. You know, and we've worked around that. We've got a plan. Billy's an excellent boxer, very defensively minded. You know, a bad round for him is not hitting the guy with 20 shots. He's getting hit himself with 2 or 3. That's a bad round for Billy Joe Saunders. And when you're going with that kind of mindset, you know, it makes for a good fight because, you know, I've said this before, it's going to be a bull and a matador situation. David Lemieux fights one way forward, you know, and Billy can fight 2 ways, backwards and forwards. So it'll be interesting to see how it all pans out.
Dominic Ingle, thank you very much for talking to IFL TV. Best of luck tomorrow night.
Thanks a lot.
Bring the belts back home. The belt back home, rather.
It will be.
No problem. Thank you very much.